So I know this is going to sound very controversial. However, this is my opinion. This is my life. This is how I feel. So let me explain. I honestly, I've tried being poly. I started off monogamy because that's the standard of the world. Most people are expected to be monogamous. That's been the blueprint of Western civilization, monogamy, even though people really did not be this way. But I digress. So I figured, after so many years of not being satisfied within a monogamous relationship because the parameters was based upon jealousy and control and lack of freedom to be yourself, to explore. And by this standard, it just seems very horrible, right? Monogamy just seems just this terrible fucking way of life. However, after being poly for so long, I was poly for 10 years. I just stopped being poly last year. Last year was my last straw. And I do get that everybody is not the same. And it takes a special type of man to love multiple women and make them feel however, they choose and want to be felt. But this is what I noticed for me. Even when I was poly, I would never love someone deeply. I could still love and feel. It was only women that got the most out of me because they was the only ones who knew how to love someone, multiple someones, and not make you feel less than because they have a hierarchy with the people that they're loving. And if they're around certain people, they don't want to show you that type of love because subconsciously they're still monogamous and they're not being honest. So they said that they were poly just so they can cheat. Just be single. Just be fucking single. But anywho, I did not find myself comfortable anytime I was poly. Like, I get it and I know that we don't own anybody. Nobody is for ownership. You can't control what anybody does. If they want to love someone else, let them love whoever they want to love, Like, I have never been the type of person who wanted to control. I came off controlling in relationships because they were liars, cheaters, manipulators, narcissists. Yeah. So when I'm disrespected and I feel like I'm not being heard and felt and seen and satisfied within a relationship, I get a little crazy. I have complex PTSD when I'm in a toxic relationship. So I can get crazy when a situation is very toxic, but that also was crazy in a poly. So I'm realizing that I'm pretty much the same. However, I don't love as deeply when I'm in a poly relationship versus a monogamous relationship. Now, I know that sounds very counterproductive, right? Because if you're a poly, that means you have multiple lovers. So that means you should be really love, you should be full of it. You can get it from this person and that person and that person and this person. You should be satisfied, right? Wrong. I realize in order for me to feel protected and for me to feel safe and secure, I don't give someone my all if they're not mine. Okay? Let's talk about this mine word because I know it's triggering for a lot of people, especially poly people, because they like, that's mine. You don't own them. I get that. I get it. But when you choose to be with someone and y'all both choose each other and no one else, that ass is mine. That ass is mine, okay? And I am that ass that's yours. I have a different approach in how I feel like monogamy is. Because honestly, any relationship, even a poly relationship, it's up to you. They have certain principles that you follow, But the way that you want to explore this dynamic with whomever that y'all are both consenting to is up to y'all. The way I feel about being in a monogamous relationship is very freeing. I want to have conversations about my partner about what it looks like if we decided or wanted to cheat. I'm so open and fluid that it's so many ways that our relationship can change based on who we grow and develop into. Now, what do I mean by that? That's why my podcast is coming out real soon, because we need to talk. We need to talk. So let's say me and my partner are going through a phase where we're not quite sure what we want anymore within a relationship. Not saying that we don't want each other, but it's certain changes we're going through. I'm that partner that wants to figure out this change together and give space for it to be. I recognize so much that I don't own this person, that I have to be open and willing to accept if they choose to be with somebody else. Now, this is where poly might come in, because they're like, okay, well, if that's the case, be poly. So if that person wants to be with somebody else, y'all can still be together, but they can just go with somebody else, enjoy that. See, this is where that doesn't fully resonate with me, because if that person wants to explore with somebody else, and I have to accept that because this is something that they feel like they need in order to grow and evolve in the way that they need to grow and evolve, because we realize that us as beings, like, we grow each other. We are mirrors. I always say that relationships make you more conscious. They don't complete you, but they make you more conscious of who you are and who you're not. So I know that we are mirroring each other. And maybe somebody else out there needs to mirror you at this time. So we have an open enough relationship where we talk about these things as these feelings arise. We have a protocol if one of us wants to step outside a relationship and cheat. We talk about our boundaries. We talk about what is satisfying for us, what is unsatisfactory. I truly believe that every relationship should have annual reviews on the relationship, just like jobs. They want to see your progress and what you've been doing, how you've been getting things done. Relationships should as well, because it's a choice constantly. So if you're choosing to love someone, you need to choose to make sure it is the best damn relationship you can have. If not, then leave. Then leave. Because ain't no point. Why are y'all giving each other half pieces or bits and pieces? Give the whole thing, or don't give it all. Go hard or go home. That's my mentality. That's why I will leave a relationship quick if it's not what I need. And moving forward now, I don't even want to get in any type of relationship if it doesn't have that set in place. If we don't know who we are, what we are to each other, and what we're doing here, and our boundaries, and what we expect, and how things look if we get through this, and this, and that together, I don't want it. So I realized that if that were the case, which is so crazy, like it's interesting the dynamics that I have become aware of within myself, within different relationship dynamics, like being poly and being monogamous. Because like when I'm poly, I don't go all the way in, because I already know in my mind that I don't own them. So, or they're not mine. Let me say, because I know I don't own anybody in a poly or monogamous relationship, but I do have this concept of something being mine. Because if it's yours, you take better care of it. Just like this is my vagina, even though I know I don't own it, it's still mine. You get it? I'm going to take care of what's mine. If it's not mine, I tend to not take care of it that much, or as good as I would if it was mine. That's why I like the idea of having something that is mine. And oftentimes I don't like to share mine. I want mine to myself, because I like specialty things. I feel like if everybody else has it, in my mind, I mean, I'm sure if I go through some major conditioning of sorts, because I have at one point, and I was getting to that point, but it just wasn't satisfying enough for me in this lifetime. I just accept where I am in this lifetime and what satisfies me, because this is my life. Note, this is my life, just like this is your life. I've accepted that it's certain things I just don't care for. I don't care to be poly romantically unless I'm single, unless I am platonic with you. But when I have found or come across or attracted the one, and the one to me is someone who connects and meshes well with me, mind, body, soul, and financially, then I am willing to be yours as long as you're willing to be mine. And it's interesting because before I started even talking about this, before I even press play on this video, I was thinking like, what am I? Am I poly or am I monogamous? Because like, I didn't know. I've been having a whole bunch of poly people come up to me recently, or just coming across them recently. And some things, make sense. I don't think that any relationship is better or worse than another. I feel like everybody should do what they feel like is best for them, because at the end of the day, this is your life. And every timeline is different. Maybe this lifetime you needed to be monogamous. Maybe this lifetime you need to be poly. I don't try to convince nobody to live anything other than the life that they should be living based on how they feel. Live the life that feels the best for you. And for me, I'm realizing that being monogamous but open is better for me. And as I talk, I realize that yes, I do feel that way still, because I was trying to be poly, and I kept like, even now I have a friend that is poly, and he is open to the fact, he's open to even his sweetie engaging with other men. They, have their primary relationship, but he's open to all of that. And that is beautiful. And I even think what he is doing, how he's doing it, because most men don't do it that way. I love how he moves. I can admire him because he still makes you feel, seen and special, even in the midst of him engaging with somebody else. It's not really a hierarchy thing like with him. And I appreciate that. However, I don't want it. And I'm accepting that more and more. Like, yeah, people are enjoying that, but something in my brain does not find it satisfying. I don't know. I know it's some other people out there, monogamous people, who would catch on and get it, and maybe comment some stuff under the comment. Because honestly, I wanna talk about this. I want to talk. I know it's kind of feminine too for me, because feminine energy is really honed in. And when they see what's theirs is theirs, and they don't really care about anything else in that regard, unless you're bisexual. Because sometimes, I do think about being with a woman, but I know naturally I am just very drawn to men, and I want to be with a man. But who knows? I might have one woman. To me, that's still monogamy though, because if I have one woman, she's just my woman. I don't want her being anybody else's woman, if she so chooses. Once again, I don't own you, but when it's set to the parameter that I am mine, you are mine, I am yours mine, it gets a different energy. And I have accepted that I am conditional. Yes, this is a conditional space that we live in. If I don't pay my bills, I'm gonna be out in the street. So that's a condition. And until these conditions change, then I feel like I will be that way, and I accept that. I was fighting it for so long. I'm like, no, I'm not conditional. Love is unconditional. And in a sense, love is unconditional. However, if somebody shits on your boundaries and becomes toxic as fuck and doesn't respect and honor you, you're going to have a condition placed on that love, and you're going to say bye-bye to that person. That's just life. It's a balance. Like, just like we got darkness and just like we need light, there's not one without the other. So with unconditional, love comes conditional love. And I respect both. I respect both. I just accept that about myself. I'm getting to the big old age where I don't need to lie to myself to convince myself that I am enlightened or better than or less than. I'm not better or less. I am all the above. And this is my life. And I can still have friends with all different types of people. And while I'm single, I can be poly as fuck, like. So I don't feel like I'm missing out. However, I feel like I am better equipped for a monogamous type of love. Like, I want to know that this person is only wanting to insert his penis inside of me continuously and have fun with it and want to explore the depths of each other and just each other. And if we don't anymore, then we be honest about it and tell each other so we can, do what we need to do with it. Who knows? Maybe they want to explore somebody. And I mean, I'm still doing my own thing. That's another thing that I have realized and accepted too. Like, even if I do get married again, I'm keeping my shit myself because you don't know. Life is unpredictable, especially people. We are very unpredictable. So I'm not going to combine my entire life with somebody. Yes, I do a business with my husband. Yes. And we'll have businesses together, but we have to have something in place. So if we don't work out, we can still do this business together or still reap the benefits of the business together into whatever way or capacity that we need. But I am not having my own independence anymore being in a relationship. I have to have my own independence because if that relationship did need to end, I need to be able to take care of myself without this person. I need to still have my life going on without this person. I need to, regardless if I'm poly or monogamous, I don't care. That's just how I feel. And that's where I'm at now in this reality. So that is my boundary. It makes me feel better. And if I feel better, then I can be the better me within the whole dynamic. So that's how I feel. But I have really accepted that. I accept that I don't like many people in the kitchen when I'm cooking. I don't. I just don't. I just don't. I don't want to have a overly communicative conversation with all partners if I choose to have a baby, if I choose to move, if I choose to do certain things. It's hard. And then I'm dominant. I'm submissive. I'm a switch. But you can't, just like how they say you can't serve two masters, you can't serve two doms. I honestly am so selfish in that regard where I don't want my man having to ask another woman, can he do this and that, and can talk to her about these plans before he do it because he want to respect the flow of the relationships. Nah, baby. I don't want that. I already know that's just disaster waiting to happen. So I'm not going to put myself through that. I accept who I am and where I'm at. Simple. I don't need to convince anybody of anything. So if anybody wants to be with me, just know that we're going to be monogamous. We're going to be very open. But don't bring that poly shit over here. I done turned down a lot of poly men. They have been sexy. They might have had some money. They might have been this, might have been that. But I know me. And me want someone to be for me and me only. Okay? I'm not that person where we can't talk about women and stuff like that, but I want my man to be very disciplined with his penis and his thoughts. Like, of course, you might have thoughts. I might have thoughts. I see a man, he look fine as hell. Some things might pop up, but I'm not finna go fuck this man. I might even be real with my man and be like, baby, You seen that? But I'm not finna act on those emotions. I just want to be very comfortable and honest with the person that I'm with. And I want them to be honest and open with me. And we choose each other. I like to be chose because I'm going to do the choosing. I like to be chose. And if I choose you to be in my life, baby, not the hair. Y'all have a child, okay? So y'all already know what's up. But I like to choose. I like to be chosen. And I don't like to share. You can have all the friends you want in the world as long as they respect this. But if you want to do something with somebody else, we got to talk about it. See how that look. I get to choose at this point. Do I want to still be with you? Or do I want to allow you to experience whatever you're experiencing and do whatever you're doing with whomever you want to do it with? It's a choice. Love is a choice. Being in relationships with people is a choice. Relating with these ships is a choice. And I am choosing monogamy. Maybe we got poly tendencies. Only in the instance of like we are very open and loving people and we care. But to love and care does not mean you have to have sex with everybody, you know? Like even when it comes to businesses, like we gonna be open and honest with what we doing and how we want to move. But if my partner wants to open up a business to somebody else, even if it's a woman, and it makes sense, go right ahead. I'm not a controlling bitch. I just want mine, and I want to be respected and honored and loved in the process. I still can't tell you what to do. I want a man who asks me what to do. Yeah, and respect what my opinion is. But at the end of the day, I still recognize that you gonna do what you want to do at the end of the day, because you are you and I am me. Just like I'm gonna move how I want to move, but we have a respect and love for each other where we move in a way that respects and loves one another. That's my point here. My whole point here is to sync with somebody so freaking abundantly and just merge that it's not like I'm forcing this man to be something. We just be it because it makes sense, it feels great, and it aligns with us. That's all. That's literally that's it. Because I see where it works for certain people, but it is where I stand on that. And honestly, none of it is bad, you know? Being poly is not bad. Being monogamous is not bad. I feel like people should just live the life that they love and love the life that they live. If you love what you're doing, you shouldn't have to convince other people to do what you're doing. And that's what usually just irritated me about the poly community, because I don't hear too many monogamous people trying to convince people to be monogamous. It's mostly poly people trying to convince people to be poly because it makes sense and it's the enlightened path and it's way more women than it is men, and nature versus nurture debate, and we need community building, you know, we got to have this, you know, but it's all about what you want for yourself. That's it. That's it. Because when you know what you want and you live the life that you want to live, it don't matter what other people are doing in their lives. As long as you're not hurting nobody, it don't matter. Live your life. This is your life, nobody else's. So I have gotten to the point where I really accept myself and I know what works for me. And I don't need to convince anybody else otherwise. Because at the end of the day, if somebody connects with me and they resonate, with who I am and where I'm at and what I want to do and how I express myself physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, if they resonate, they resonate and it works. If they don't, they don't. And it's okay. I'm not here to be loved by every single body. I know that I am every single body. Technically, because nothing is disconnected. Everything is connected in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So that's why I resonate with poly and I resonate with monogamy because it all makes sense. I just need to do things the way that makes sense to me. I feel like I'm right here in the middle. Poly is over here on the spectrum. Monogamy is over here on the spectrum. I'm right here. But I just lean a little bit more towards the monogamy spectrum. But I still am in the middle. I feel poly tendencies, but I'm a very just particular person. I'm on the spectrum on many others. I'm very dyslexic. I am very just very neurodivergent, neurospicy, which many of us are. I feel like all of us are, honestly, at this point. But I just know me. I know me and I know what I want. And I'm accepting it more and more. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, before I press play, I was like, what am I? Because it's like I accept the fact too that since I am single, I may lean more towards the the poly side because I'm single. Nobody is mine and I'm not nobody's. So I can see why I be like, what am I? Because I'm in the space of more being poly. So leaning more towards that right now had me thinking like, am I poly? Should I be poly? But the more I engage with more poly people, the more I feel and accept where I am and where I've been, I am reminded that no, it's just right now. Right now, I am single and poly because I talk to multiple people. I mean, I ain't giving multiple people these cheeks because they don't deserve that. But I am exploring. I'm exploring a lot of different parameters right now. I'm in the BDSM kink world. I am a findom. So I will have multiple subs, and my partner will recognize and see that too and accept that because we are very open. I'm monogamous, but I ain't no no vanilla person. I might like vanilla flavor, but I am very open and very experimental and very explorative. That doesn't make me not fun because I'm monogamous and I prefer that. I've had a partner who really tuned in to me and made me feel like I was all they seen, even if they did see other beautiful people. And surprisingly, that was just a woman. I haven't had a man make me feel that way, but a woman did. So I know it's out there. I just have to continue to manifest my life and stay on my path and be confident and attract what it is that I want. So, yeah, I'm really liking y'all. This is actually probably not my first time, but first time in a long time that I put a lace front in. I won't be doing, I have this wig, so I'll be doing it while I have this wig. But future wigs would just be glueless. I don't want that. It's this other method this Dom was talking about. I forgot the name of it, but I would try that once big mo dollars start rolling all in. I accept it as it is because I'm rich and wealthy and healthy, and I get whatever I want. But I'm just authentic. I like to keep that shit 3 stacks. Okay, but yes, I am a findom. And it has been interesting, y'all. It's been very interesting. So if you're submissive with your wallet, and I know you're watching this video and you're becoming more and more obsessed with me, goon for me, baby, and go ahead and send your tribute. And we'll see where you fall on my spectrum of submission. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. I just wanted to rant on a little bit about it and let y'all know how I feel and see if I resonate with anyone else's feels. So keep it real and comment below how you feel about it. I know it's gonna be a lot of poly people under, and it's okay. I embrace you too, but please don't come in there trying to convince me I need to be something that I'm not, because I know me. Okay. I'm not saying this to convince other people to be monogamous. I just really want to know how people feel. Okay? Because I'm going to keep it real. But thank y'all for tuning in. Damn. Y'all really tuned in to the end of this video. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I'll see y'all next time. Princess Jasmine is out. Bye, babes. Okay.